Alright, hello everyone. Welcome back to another episode to the Max Outdoors. As you can see here, we are in the woods. What we're going to do here is we're going to do another 3, 4, 5 part series on just making a simple food plot, which probably most people would consider it a kill plot. What this is here is there is a gas and oil well pad above us. When they come in and drilled above us, they knocked this little part of the ridge top off here. There's actually a ridge that runs out this way and another ridge that runs behind the camera here on the right side. But what they done was they smoothed this off for us, and the topsoil from the well pad above we brought down in here, and they smoothed it out for us. This plot right here is 60 yards long, approximately 60 yards long, and 44 yards wide at its widest point. I think it averages like 28 or 32 yards wide is what it averages. All we're going to do here is we're going to put some clover in it, and then I'm going to try to come up with something to put in it, let's see, late summer, and then get us through fall. So whether it be like some kind of radishes or not radishes, I'm sorry, turnips, something along those lines. But what I'm going to do right now is this is the 5th year this ground here has set and nothing's been planted in on it. The only thing we did is once the gas and oil got it smoothed out, we come back across with a tiller on our little tractor. We have a little Kubota tractor and a 50-inch tiller, come in, tilled about 2-3 inches deep, and then we just sowed in some pasture mix is all it was, just to hold the soil here and get it going. This little plot right here, it usually gets 50 pounds of lime in the winter time, just trying to make it right. And if you look out through here, it's actually pretty good. There really isn't a lot of junk in here. The reason I'm up here today is last week I brought the tractor and the brush hog up here, and I knocked all this down, making sure there was no stumps or rocks or anything that we missed anywhere. But I noticed that the grass was overcoming the clover. I'd like to try to keep this clover as long as I could through the spring and summer. I think the deer feed pretty good on the clover, but the grass has overcome it and it's choking it down. So the first part of this video series, like you see right here, this is just a regular old lawnmower. We keep it up here to cut through the bottoms around the cabin and stuff like that. We mainly mow with a brush hog or a finish mower on the tractor, but I want this cut down pretty low. I want this clover to try to gain some hold again. I know the next 2 weeks we got some pretty good rain and pretty good sun coming through. It's actually probably going to rain here within the next couple hours, but I'm going to try to get this cut down 2 to 3 inches. If you look out through here, I've come through and I've kicked everything back on the sides. I've taken the tractor, in about February, I took the tractor and I pushed all the junk as far as I can. There's a nice oak tree right there. I'm going to try to make that oak tree do as well as it possibly can. The bottom side of this would be my left side here, looking down over. That's all oak flat through there. That's an oak ridge above you, back off of my right side now. And what we have here, like I said, there's 2 ridges here. There's a low gap and a low gap directly behind the camera. I'm trying to build a funnel point here for deer season. I'm trying to build somewhere where these deer can come down and funnel into a point. Like I said, this is all private property around us. We're on our little piece of private property. We got a neighbor behind the camera and a neighbor in front of the camera, but we're 1,000 yards off of the property line this way, and we're 300 to 400 yards off the property line this behind the camera. So this is a low pressure area. I can access this area. Probably got about a 100-yard walk from where I would normally park to access this. I can access this super easy, super quiet, and I'm going to access this piece from be the left side of the camera directly up over the hill. Typically, there is not much activity where I'm going to access through. Like there shouldn't be. That's not like a midday bed. Um, Very rarely do deer get kicked down into there. That's kind of a, it's kind of steep down through there, and it's side hills, and there is a gas and oil road down there. So I have really easy access, quick, quiet access to this, and I'm really trying to focus a lot of my attention right here on this area. I'm trying to create a pinch point. If I can get something in here, whether it be turnips or winter peas or something, if I can get them in here and just hang them here for 5 minutes, I'm going to be parked in one of these trees right here come September. There's a buck up here I've been chasing for about 3 years. I'll try to slip a picture of him in from last season off the game camera. I'll try to slip him in, but I'm getting pictures of that buck coming down through here, and I've never been able, I hunt a good bit back in this corner, I've never been able to get him, because when he comes off of the high ridge or off of this ridge, he comes, he looks, if he doesn't see anything, then he is boom right back to the high ridge, or he comes off the high ridge and hits down into this bottom. Down into the bottom, you've seen in my past hunting videos, we keep that pretty well cleaned up. My grandpa is super adamant about keeping it cleaned up. That's his baby down there. So there is probably 12 to 15 acres down there that we keep mowed really well. It is sowed super heavy in clover. There's 2 food plots down there in the summer. I call them food plots. Both of them are just shy of an acre, but Grandpa keeps corn and pumpkin and sunflower in them all summer. There is a tremendous amount of doe activity down in this bottom. Like I said, the high ridge, that houses a lot of the bucks. Come rut, this hollow over here on the right side of the camera is where it's happening. So I'm going to try to create something right here to keep them here. If I can keep a doe or 2 here, I'm good. I'm hoping in September, when you get them bachelor groups that are still running together, early October, late September, I'm hoping to get, a bachelor group of bucks. If I can get them here for 5 or 10 minutes, it's game over. It's up to me at that point, and hopefully I can do what I can do. So that's a little explanation of why we're doing what we're doing here. Like I said, today I'm gonna take the lawnmower, I'm gonna knock it down real good. I've read that from planting this clover that it does best when the grass is under 3 inches. Right now it's probably in that 5 to 6 inch range. Like I said, it just cut with a brush hog a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. So I'm gonna start down the center, and I'm gonna blow my grass as far out as I can. I'm gonna try to get all the dead off of it. I want the clover to have the best chance it can. And I will create a playlist out of these couple series when I get this completed. Again, we're trying to make some playlists for this year. Hopefully this turns into a pretty good one. So I'm gonna get on the mower here, and I'm gonna start making some passes, and we'll get back with you when we get it finished. Okay, so there we go. We'll Took us about 25, 27 minutes. I think I just looked at the camera there. I've got this cut. As you can see now, it is cut down like it would be in your front yard. As you can tell, I'm pretty rough on a mower. That hill probably is a lot steeper. That hill right there, where you see me going across it sideways on the mower, it's too steep for the tractor to and the brush hog. We just have it's not a subcompact, but it's a compact Kubota, and we got a 6-foot brush hog on it, and that's too steep for that tractor. Even with the front loader and, like I say, a bucket full of dirt, it ain't worth doing. That's a disposable lawnmower that I picked up along the road. I don't have but $300 in it. Granted, I don't try to tear it up, but its sole intention is to do things exactly like this up here. I cut right-of-ways with it. I cut trails with it. I take it places that I'm not comfortable taking a tractor, or I don't want my grandfather taking the tractor. We do have a pull-behind brush hog for the four-wheeler, but it won't cut grass near as good as this, like I'm wanting to do. I want something that lifts it and gets it off. That's a residential mower. That's what it's meant to do. That's what the blades are designed to do, and that's where I'm using it. As you can see here, this tree, I think you can see here, this tree right here, I believe it's a sassafras tree. It's going to have some work done to it. These vines got to go. These vines are starting to come out. I actually dug these vines out of here 2 years ago, and I believe that's called kudzu, that vine. It's taken over and it's coming out, so I'm gonna have to bring the tractor. I have a little compact Mahindra tractor with a backhoe. I have to bring it up here, dig those out. We'll get video of that too. We'll do that in like part 2 of this series, where we're edging everything back real good, and maybe even the first till on everything. But nevertheless, there we go. Like I said, we're about 60 yards long and this, say, 35 yards wide. It'll probably be snow peas and turnips. As you can tell there, this gets a decent bit of sun on it. It doesn't get sun all day on it, but it gets a decent bit of sun on it. We'll try to do like a little spin around here. What we're looking at right in the middle of the screen right now is the oak tree, which that is a producing oak tree. It does produce really well. Now, right center of the frame right now, if you're paying attention, there is a poplar tree right dead smack in the middle of that, in the far back corner. That's probably where I'll be. It's typically the best spot I can be in. I can see everything really well. That tree right there is a tree you're probably going to see a lot of video out of this coming season, because that's the tree I like right there. That'll allow me to shoot the majority of this food plot. Like I said, these deer will typically be coming from my left down or my right up through there. I'll access it back through here. I shouldn't really spook anything. And as I was talking about the pinch point, that's going to be my pinch point. Back where my tree stand is going to be, where I said the big poplar tree is right there. That's a funnel, a natural funnel right into a low gap off of a high ridge and a middle ridge right down into the bottom. So we'll go do two or three more food plots today. Okay, here we are. We're in our second tiny, what I'm going to call a shooting kill plot. If you look in the left side of the screen, up through these telephone poles, this power line right away of a sort, you see a brown building out there. It's my grandfather's hunting shack, shooting shack. He doesn't really shoot deer anymore, but he does like to go in there and set and watch. Where we are right here is approximately 300 yards away from where we just started. We're starting to come down into the bottom now, and as you can see, this is all cut down through here. You have the ridge from the other side and the ridges that we were just on. This is starting to make this funnel part here. Like I said, there's fields out through here. Another 300-400 yards, there's some fields out through here. And this area here generally is kind of like the funnel. Like I said, where we just came from is back left side of the camera, which you can't see, but this is where everything's coming down in the funnel. Um, the bottom in between right here, there's a creek down through here. You get a lot of early season doe activity down through this bottom, whether they're feeding up through those fields to feed of an evening, or they midday bed through this bottom because of those fields. This little kill plot, food plot right here, I don't know what you'd call it. It's not a food plot by no means. It's probably more of a shooting kill plot. You catch a deer stopping here to nibble or whatever. It's about a 170-yard shot from there, from that shooting shack to here. This is only a 20 by 40 food plot here. This is all this is clover, and as you can see, it's even got some oat or weed in it. I'm not real sure what it is. It's got something that's making a seed head on it, but nothing is eating this clover in here. That's a big purple clover, and I walked through it here before I set the camera up. There's really nothing's eating on it, so I'm gonna put the deck up on the mower and I'm gonna run this down, and we'll check on it here in I don't know, another month or so and see what happens. But I don't see any harm in cutting it down right now. Nothing's eating it as high as it is, and it's starting to get some weeds in it because the clover is getting up tall and it's not able to choke. So I'm gonna run through it. All right, so there you go. Just cut that food plot down, kill plot, whatever you want to call it. I never really was too happy with that little plot right there. That was actually one of those off the shelf, I think that was called Lucky 7, made by whatever, Evolved Habitat or whatever. That's one of them pre-mixed bags that you pay way too much money for seed or whatever. I'd picked it up on clearance the year prior. Maybe the seed was bad in it, I'm not real sure, but it had a ton of junk weed in it that wasn't here prior to us doing this. And this was tilled, that was tilled 6-8 inches deep with the tiller behind the tractor. That was fertilized. I mean, I think that was done proper, and this is pretty good ground down here. This is kind of undisturbed woods. This was timbered. This was actually a log landing from when they timbered 10-12 years ago, and we cleaned it out when they left. So this is actually decent ground down in here, and I feel like I've done my part on this little shooting plot, kill plot, food plot, whatever you want to call it. I probably won't buy that pre-mixed seed, any deer food plot pre-mixed seed anymore. I really wasn't happy with that, so that's actually probably going to get planted in beans. I'll just buy a quarter pound of beans, like green beans, bush beans, and just let them go. I'll do that somewhere in the late July or something. It stays wet enough in here that I'm not worried about the end of the summer drought getting in there. This is pretty covered, as you can see here. We're in the, it's probably noon. It's actually it's 15 after 1 right now, so it's midday. The sun's damn near straight over our head, and this stays pretty shaded, so I think I'm gonna plant like a bean in here, honestly. I mean, plus it'll give us enough to where if we run short at the home garden, we come up here and grab these. But why not? Deer tear the beans up at home. I mean, hell, they jump my fence to get in there at home. Might as well plant them up here. They're fairly inexpensive. I can plant them in an hour. That'll be coming up in the next video also. We'll go check our 2 other food plots. Like I said, everything that I'm doing here is budget friendly. I'm not rich by no means. I'm a working man. We have a small little, I have a small Mahindra tractor. Grandpa has a compact size Kubota tractor. We have a 50-inch tiller. I have a set of discs for a 4-wheeler that I made. I have a drag with teeth on it that I made, and that's pretty much how I clean up all these and get them going. We don't have any big equipment. We don't have a farm tractor, so to speak, and everything we do here is done on a budget of a sort, I guess you should say. We're not farmers by no means. We're just trying to get the deer to stop for a minute, get a look at them, get a shot off at them, whatever. Like I said, Grandpa does hunt out of that box over there. Some. Probably the opening morning of gun season and or Thanksgiving Day is probably about all he's got anymore, but he enjoys it. So I try to keep something here so he can get a little look at a deer, and he likes to take pictures. So take pictures with a camera, not take pictures out of the scope. He takes pictures of animals. So if it makes him happy, then it's all worth it. This is all his. You know, he purchased this property years ago, and this is how he wants to keep it. So I feel it's my part to keep up on it too, and that's kind of the little reason why I'm doing what I'm doing. The little food plots or kill plots is all for me and Max. And my grandpa gets a kick out of it. He loves seeing Max hunt. He loves seeing me up here. So that's why we do it. It gets us a better opportunity to take a more ethical shot or a cleaner shot on an animal. Obviously didn't work out in this past turkey season, as you can see. It didn't pan out the way it should have, but hey, in deer season, if Max can kill a deer out of here, that's great. If I can get one, that's better. And if Grandpa can get one, that takes the cake right there. That's what it's all about. So we'll go check out 2 more plots. There's one just right down here below us. We're going to end up cutting it down too. I'm probably just going to go down there and set the camera up and run it over. Again, it's the same Evolved Habitats Lucky 7 or Magic 7, whatever. It turned out like poop too. It didn't do anything that I wanted it to do. So I'm going down there and I'm mowing through that, and I probably won't replant anything there. That one will probably turn back a little further, but anyways, I'll quit running my mouth and we'll get down there and go to that one. All right, here we are. We're in the third of 4 little food plots, shooting plots, whatever you want to call them, that I put up last year. Actually, this is the 2nd year on this one, and the 2nd year on that one up there that I did that Lucky 7, Evolved Habitats Lucky 7 or 7 card or something. I forget the name of it is. But this one here, actually the deer are in it pretty well. They've got all the tops of the clover. This is a bigger, broader leaf clover. I'm not sure of the exact clover it is, but it puts a big purple flower out. They actually have the tops of it all ate off. The only thing left is this some kind of grain here that's putting a big seed head out on it, and I don't think it's a grass. Like, I don't think it's a common grass. It's a if I'm wanting to say that stuff had oats or wheat or rye or something in it, I'm not real sure, but I'm not going to cut this one. The deer are definitely eating on this. Now we are directly in the bottom, so to speak, right now. The creek is literally right there, 10 yards away. There's an opening up through there that comes down through that field. This is a high traffic. This bottom is high traffic for deer. This is a ton of doe activity, and I'm sure with this creek and the cover around this creek, I'm sure that they probably have fawns pushed off in them right now, and there's typically a lot of turkeys that nest down through here. Now, this year so far, we've only found 2 turkey nests, and there was no eggs in them, but there's definitely turkey nests now. Whether she hatched them already and they're gone, I'm not real sure. We haven't seen any baby turkeys yet, but or a critter got in and got them. It's hard to tell. I sure hope not, because we had a rough turkey season. We definitely need a hell of a young turkey brood hatch this year to do as well, but I don't really think I'm going to cut this one. There again, this one's small. It's 20. It's kind of triangle shaped. It's about 20 foot wide at its widest part, and it ends up being 60 foot long, but it is triangle shaped and it's small. There again, my grandfather's shooting shack is right up there. We're within 75 yards of it now. Right directly up this road right here is you can see it. That's my grandfather's shooting shack. There's another right of way for the other side of it, and this bottom where we're at. So this one here is kind of crucial because a lot of times when they come down through here, they're moving. They're on the hunt for something, or they're going after something specific. And this gives you a minute, 5 minutes, whatever, 30 seconds to get on and see what it is, or if you want it, or for him and for his instance to take a picture of it most of the time. So anyways, I'm gonna leave that one alone. We're gonna go up to the next one. So if I were to act like I didn't just get stuck there, and it took me an hour and a half to walk back over to the truck, get some ratchet straps, figure out I didn't get enough, walk back over and get 2 more, then attach to the nearest tree and ratchet strap myself out of this swamp, that'd be a lie, because that's just what happened. And I knew better. I've been cutting grass here for a long time. My grandfather had cut around here, and I thought, wonder why he left this grass here. Knowing dang well that he told me that it was wet in here, I thought, it's just a little mower, what bad could happen? Well, I eased into it and the bottom give out. And guess what? I made a mess. There was no way I could go get the tractor with the bucket on, and I couldn't get in here, I'd sink it too. So a lot of sweat and some manpower made up for being a little bit silly of an idiot right there. So there you go. Now you know it's all real. All right, so here we are. We're in our 4th and final food plot that we've had established for a few years now, and we're right in the middle of it currently right now. This food plot is 35 yards wide by exactly 100 yards long. This one gets tilled, disc, the whole deal. I mean, this is bad ground. This is as bad as it gets right here. So this has kind of been our test bed. This is all like yellow and gray clay. There's a well pad right above us where a pump jack sits. All that trash dirt that they had left over came down here to smooth this out. They didn't pile the topsoil up like a normal individual would and put it back on top. You know, we got clay here. So this has been a little test bed here. This has been a bunch of soil samples out of here. Local Southern States has helped me out tremendously with telling me what the ground needed and what it is. This is 2 years on this food plot right here, and if you can see here, it's got a bunch of this purple-headed clover in it. I'm not sure of the name of it. It's just purple, makes a purple flower, gets a big broad leaf on it. The deer absolutely got this thing mowed down. They have the tops off everything, and whatever these bigger leaf things are, I'm not real sure, but a lot of deer they've got them ate down. We got some of this grain of a sort here. Again, I don't know exactly what it is. Got a grain head on it. It's just randomly through here. Not real sure what it is, but I'm not going to cut this one either. I'm going to leave it be. So there you go. There's our 4 little small food plot, kill plots, whatever you want to call them. Again, I'm not a farmer by no means. I just do some stuff here to try to get deer to slow down a little bit, and a little bit of ethical shot on them, a little better ethical shot. You know, we do have a feeder. It's down in this bottom here that we're in. We're kind of on the other side of the bottom from where we started earlier. We're on the other side of the hill. There is a feeder down in this bottom that we will run, you know, during hunting season, whatever, but it's 500 yards or so back in through there. Again, this just tries to draw deer down. This is a big ridge over here to our left. There's very little hunting pressure on this side of the property over here. Again, this is all private property in and around us. This neighbor over here, he very rarely comes over. They maybe gun hunt 2 or 3 times, and that's it. Nobody comes through there. It's pretty secluded. It doesn't get hunting pressure, and we have great neighbors around us, and we all kind of leave this as a sanctuary of a sort. Yeah, we do hunt it, but we don't ever get in there very hard. So this will be another food plot here. We'll get it established a little better this year, hopefully, and You'll see Max and I in a tree stand or in a ground blind here probably early in the year too. Like I said, this one, there's a lot of deer activity in this one pretty much all year. So I'm really happy with it. So that makes 2 out of the 4 food plots that have got pretty good clover come back in them. And the deer are taken care of 2 out of 3, let's say. The one very top, the one we started at, that never really did take very well. I think it might be too shaded. Maybe we'll get back in on, I'll try to make a 4-part series of this. This obviously part 1, where we're just going in, analyzing how we're coming back. We're almost up to Memorial Day. So these things have had a month and a half of good growing on them and hard feeding on them. You know, you got there's a ton of doe in this area typically. So I feel like these get pressured pretty hard because of the bottom, because of the cover. I think, again, there's a lot of doe, there's a lot of mature doe that drop fawns down through here. So I hope this helps them, you know, keep their fawns going. Again, there's a creek down in this bottom. There's water right here to our left. Comes out, you know, it comes out off of this side of the hill over here. We'll move the camera around. There's a big giant oak tree right there in the middle of the camera. That giant oak tree is over a little stream right there, so they do get pretty good coverage. That hollow right there, that little hollow right there, you couldn't shoot a rabbit out through that thing. I mean, it's thick. So I'm happy with it. I'm just going to cut the grass around it and I'm going to leave it be. Part 2 of this video, we're going to come back in probably in I don't know, 2 weeks to a month or so. Next time I get a couple good days in a row where I can get up here, I'm going to come back in. I'm going to trim some sides of these trees off with a pole saw. We'll go up top, we'll trim it back, and we may even mow them one time. We'll try to plant these somewhere through July probably. They'll get some like purple top turnips in them this year, and maybe some more grain, some kind of winter wheat or winter grain of a sort, maybe even buckwheat, I don't know. I know buckwheat doesn't last through the frost, but it seems to grow and choke out junk pretty easy, so maybe we'll plant that. But like I said, part 1, we are looking at them, seeing how they handled, pretty happy with them. Part 2, we'll come back cleaning them up, probably cutting them all down one more good time. Part 3, we'll get in them, get them tilled up, disc up. Probably going to disc them all up this year, drag them and disc them just with a 4-wheeler, because that's how we normally do it. The tractor tiller thing, that's fairly new to us. We probably only had it for 3 or 4 years now, but a couple places I can't get the tractor very easy with the tiller on it. So that being said, we'll just kind of do it budget wise. We're not rich people by no means. We have 4-wheelers. We have some junk equipment that we've turned in to make stuff, and that is what it is. So I'd love to hear your guys' comments. Tell me how you do your food plots, or kill plots, or shoot plots, whatever you do. Drop me a comment, let me know how you do that, and tell me what I'm doing wrong, or give me a positive or a constructive criticism comment. How about that? I'd love to hear it. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not a farmer. I just try to make something that deer like to stay in, because I like to hang in a tree and shoot at them. So thanks for watching To The Max Outdoors.